Yo, 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 yo. What up? What up? It's another day. Today is not raining. It's an actual nice day. Starting off the day here. I'm in the car again. I like to do these things when I'm in the car for some reason. I don't know. But welcome back to Hutchinson Unfiltered. I think I like to do this in the car because it's a time where I'm actually by myself and I really can't do very much else. So I can just hit the record button and talk. So today we're talking about something every man deals with, whether he admits it or not. It's the ego. The ego, specifically how your ego can pull you into confrontations you never needed to be in. And not because you're actually threatened, because a lot of times we're not, but because something inside you feels challenged. You know, somebody's challenging you in some way. Either your knowledge, your toughness, your manhood, and you feel like you have to prove your toughness, your value, or your word. And once your ego gets involved, a harmless moment can turn into a full-blown escalation. We've seen a lot of this stuff happen. Recently, especially amongst young folks, man. If you ask me, I think that's really what happened with the Carmelo Anthony situation and the Anthony Metcalf situation. It was a lot of ego involved in that. No matter what side of the fence that you fall on in that argument, I think that's a big factor in it. Escalated. But I've seen a perfect example of this, at work. There were two coworkers that were talking. Just normal conversation amongst themselves. But a third guy made a smart remark about what happened. Nothing serious, but the two guys were talking. The subject of that smart remark didn't take kindly to him, and he popped off at his coworker that interjected, and it just went up from there, man. It just went up from there. So dudes started talking, they started yakking back and forth, and trying to punk each other, and it just got way out of control. And you're talking about at work, man. This is a group of other coworkers standing around watching this, like, man, y'all chill. We're just trying to get our job done. And instantly, though, that energy changed, like instantly. And it wasn't about a conversation anymore. It just became about pride. It became about reputation. It became about, of course, their ego. So, like I said, they started going back and forth and talking about beating each other up. Not because either one of them wanted to actually fight. Man, I don't think they really wanted to fight, man. They didn't want to. Neither one of them really wanted to back down. Other people stepped in to calm things down. And then one guy eventually calmed. The younger guy eventually calmed down, and but the coworker, who was a little bit older, kept poking, trying to get the last word, or actually beyond the last word. He got the last word and kept going with the last word. But eventually the younger guy ended up leaving the work site, and I thought it was like completely unnecessary to have him do that. I don't think you should let anybody run you off work. Nothing's gonna happen to you. And I don't think it was because he was scared, but he just didn't want things to get worse. So overall, I think that's ego. That's ego, and a lot of times it convinces you that escalating is strength. When in reality, a lot of times restraint is where a lot of strength lies, and it's hard to be restrained sometimes, man. So most of the time, the thing you're trying to prove, nobody even cares about. In all honesty, I could care less if either one of those guys fought who won or who lost. It wouldn't make me not one bit of difference. Now, would it have been entertaining? I guess, but I mean, I don't find people throwing their jobs away as far as entertaining. So I'm sure something like that happens, they probably would have both got fired. So I mean, the only person usually keeping score is you and your ego. So I think the real strength is in being disciplined enough to know when a situation isn't worth your energy. So, not to say you should never, stand up for yourself. I'm not saying you shouldn't stand up for yourself. I'm just saying that there's a difference between standing up for yourself and antagonizing the situation. So, so I think a lot of times guys need to really, really check themselves before their ego drags them into something that doesn't really serve them. Sometimes it's the best thing to do is not let your pride ruin your life. And man, there's so many examples of this thing that happens, man. You see this with people getting into just regular fist fights, or you see that a lot when you hear about people offing other people, man. When individuals end up deleted, a lot of domestic cases end up because of pride and ego. Matter of fact, I was looking at another, like a case somewhere. I think it was like Bruce Rivers or one of these attorneys, what they're watching the investigations or whatever. And this guy ended up deleting his fiance because she was having a little self-service. I think what happened, she might have been talking to somebody online, so I guess technically she was cheating. But deleting her, man, really, dude? Leave the chick. Leave her. You can leave her, but he snapped out and ended up, deleting her. It was horrible, man. So ego, man, we gotta check our egos, and you gotta know, man, at some point, somebody's going to challenge you, and you got to decide if it's really worth it. If it's really worth all the time and effort, because you push it there. When keeping it real goes wrong, and you keep it so 100 that you end up doing 25 to life. 100% of your life is the most 100. So when something that we need to really explore, need to really look at ourselves, and it doesn't make you weak or cowardly because you choose a better path, man. So anyway, Hutch Unfiltered, I'm here again, man. This is another episode. Give me your thoughts on this. Let me know if we really need to look at controlling our egos, or you think it's healthy to go ahead and run the fade all the time. You know what I'm saying? Even at work, run the fade. So give me a shout, like in the comment section. And actually, man, don't forget to like the video, dude. I'm trying to get this thing off the ground, so give me a like. Greatly appreciate it. Talk to you guys later.